record in a minute. Welcome everyone. The first Thursday of every month is our growth committee meeting. At the last meeting, we wanted to really just drive engagement around profit share and growing our profit share trees. And so what we did was Deb Norman, one of our agents who recently joined our office. She's been with KW for what, Deb? 5 years, 4 years?
6.
6 years. Okay. And in those 6 years, she has 5 agents in her first level, but 67 agents total in her downline. So we have a lot to learn from Deb. And she has a really nice PowerPoint presentation. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna actually turn it over to Deb so she can take the reins and take the wheels. So we'll go through the presentation, and afterwards we figured we would maybe do a little mastermind just around the best ways to attract agents to our market center. So Deb, without further ado, I'm going to turn it over to you.
Thank you. So PowerPoint presentations sound ultra boring, and I promise it's not that boring. It just is a guide for me to help so I don't have a gazillion thoughts in my head. So I was asked actually to do this presentation back in 2018. So I did. And so these slides have been revised along the way, but I think the general feeling is you'll see. So let me share my screen. We'll just jump in. All right, so here we are. So everyone good?
Yep.
Okay. So I actually thank the growth committee. I'm just getting to know you all, and I've been hopping onto a bunch of the committees and just trying to get to know the agents in the office. And I'm happy to share just my little tidbit. Again, new to the office, just not new to KW. So I got very lucky in that when I first came over, I came over from my previous company, and let's just say we weren't the happiest where we were. And so I, ran over to KW as soon as I could because I knew a lot of agents were following, and I wanted to get there first and have the benefit of people to potentially name me. So that's how it really started. And in 2018, so they had asked me to put together this slide, and it was in March, right around St. Patrick's Day. So I kind of, came up with this, and just to kind of show people where to get some information, and two, really the powerful impact that profit share could have on the agents in the office. So one of the things that I'll point out was that KW does have KW University. So anybody could really get this information, and there's webinars, and there's tons of information if you want to take that approach. But so some of these slides did come from KW University. I have altered them. So I just want to kind of put that out there first. But anyhow, so one of the first things that when you look at profit share in KW, you can understand the magnitude and realize how much money they are just pouring back into their agents on a profit share level. And, I just want you to take a look at maybe the last, 8 years or so. And while, the percent in increase hasn't, gone up, it's kind of maintained and stayed this level. And so each year, Keller Williams is profit sharing, 170 million back to its agents. And so that's substantial numbers. There's definitely what I call heavy hitters in the profit share world. Names like Linda McKissick, Dorothy Alsborn, and all of this also is public knowledge. So KW is an open book company. You could find all of this information. A little later on, I actually talk about where you could find these numbers. So this is lifetime profit share. So one of the things that Christina had put in the flyer, this year, I realized I hadn't even really been noticing it. And all of a sudden I just saw this number one day, and I was blown away that my lifetime profit share is at like just over 80,000. And so I'm very fortunate to be one of these earners in the slide that you see here. So out of all the agents in Keller Williams, you know, I'm one of 5,000 to really have that blessing. And there are 100 agents you could see here that they have acquired over $1 million in profit share. And I think that's huge. That's major money. That's retirement money, and as far as I'm concerned. And one of my goals is to be able to no longer work and live off of my profit share. That is one of my goals. And I think just by this slide alone, you could see that is a possibility. And there are plenty of people doing that in our company. So again, we are an open book company, so I don't mind sharing my numbers with you. This is my report. I just uploaded it for February 2021. And you could see my lifetime profit share. It's been circled there. So I'm just now over 87,000. And you could see on the top left where you're going to find the associates in my level. So again, I am very fortunate. I have 5. Please ignore that 6, because when an agent leaves one market center and goes to another, they just get reassigned a number. But that person is being counted twice. So I really do only have 5. And I am extremely fortunate that my 5 people have people below them, that they've named them as their sponsor. And that's how you start to build your downline. And that's where you start to see mass amounts of accumulation. So I think the phrase is, you know, if you grow it a little wide, they'll grow it really deep for you. So you could just see here, yeah. So I have there now, if somebody ends up leaving, I just want to point out, at one point, I did have an agent on my 7th level, but one agent had left. So everyone kind of moved up. So I no longer have somebody on my 7th level. Whoever that was is now obviously on my 6th level. And again, more information, if there's something on this chart that you really want to know about, everyone has this chart, and I'm happy to answer any questions a little later on. One of the things I like to point out, and maybe this is something that we could really start to do at the office, we would have a comma club board. And if you were, if you had a comma that month, you are in the comma club. So it's just a way to kind of celebrate that you've made over at least $1,000 that month in profit share. So I'm a 35-time comma club member, I like to kind of say. It's fun. It's one of those things that you just kind of get to, you know, celebrate. It's a non-scale victory, you know, kind of thing that they like to say. So any questions on this, just either put it in the chat, or anybody could pop in at any time. So for me, why profit share? For me, it's my source of passive income. It's free money. I don't do absolutely nothing to get it, but I kind of do. There are people in my downline I don't even know. So I've done absolutely nothing, and every month I do, if they are successful, if they do sell something, if the office is profitable, I do earn some dollars. And whether that's, you know, 23 cents, sometimes $23, sometimes $230 from this one person I don't even know, I think that's pretty substantial. And one of the things that Keller Williams likes to really hone in on is that we are stakeholders in this company. Now, there's definitely rumors going around that we might be like an IPO soon and maybe go public. But for now, we are not a public company, and we are every agent in this company is a stakeholder. So by growing our market center and by growing KW, this is the way that KW kind of gives back to its agents, if that makes sense. So basically how it works, and I'm sure you're all, if you've just joined KW, when you were entered, you asked for a name of the reason why you came to KW, right? So who was the person that really got you here? And they name you. If that person then makes money, company dollar, and our market center is profitable on the 21st of every month, there's some like equation thing. I don't care about it. I don't know about it. I just know it works. And there's some calculation, and based on the profit and based on where they lie in your profit share tree, that money gets distributed and gets automatically deposited into your account on the 21st. If you're really lucky, you ask Kelly, and sometimes she tells you about it on the 19th. So we're usually by the 19th, we're always kind of checking our account and our phones. And then one of the most amazing things I think about all of this is that your profit share is willable. You name a beneficiary. So when I die, my niece gets to enjoy this for the rest of her life. As long as I have a tree and people in my tree that are profitable, I get to will this away. And that, I think, is, talk about a legacy, right? I mean, this isn't just like passing on a stock to your child. I mean, this is just free money that you've earned, accumulated, and it doesn't just die, right? I think if you retire, you can, it's like $25 a month to maintain it. That's the only thing in order to maintain your profit share tree, like in your trust, let's say you have a trust, when you will it, you do have to take $25 a year in order to maintain that profit share. Is that correct, Matt?
Correct. Yeah. So once you're with the company and you're vested,
yes.
Then you're good basically going forward. Now, if you retire, Deb, to your point, then it's just a once a year $25 amount to stay in the Keller Williams system for profit share.
So let's hope we're all retiring and not dying. But that's just basically like, but the point is, it doesn't go away. There is a way to maintain this and continue your legacy on.
Yep.
So again, this is very complicated, but I just want to point out that not everybody in your tree is valued the same as far as profit. So on this, my first level, they are worth more to me dollar wise, because 50% of that profit of their earnings kind of head back to me. Whereas somebody, let's say on my fourth level, I'm only getting about 5% of that, because let's say, okay, so for instance, my first level, Scott, he has a second and third level. So on Jim Smith. So Jim Smith's my third level. Jim Smith makes a sale, the market center is profitable. I'm going to get about 5% of that of whatever's left over in that profit share, whereas whoever named him is going to get the 50%, and then Scott would get the 10%. I know it's complicated, but I've stared at this very long, and I do understand it, but
yeah. And Deb, I would just
basically goes to show you that not everybody really, you're going to get the same value.
Yeah, and Deb, I would just also say it's encouraging you to continue to not only build your first level, but also to encourage the people who you bring in to attract other people to the market center.
That's
as well.
Exactly it. Right.
Yeah,
so really what you want to do is take your first level and teach them how to build their tree. So that goes back to the saying, right? If you just start and you build it a little wide, they're going to build it deep. So again, a little bit more complicated. There's, I'm sure recording webinars that really do explain this with numbers attached to it, and you do start to see it a little bit more. So one of the, so this came off of a slide, and Matt and I are on the same page here. We don't recruit. We do not recruit. We attract really great people that we want to do business with, that we want a part of our culture. And I want to make that very clear. Not everybody should be a part of our market center, because we want to attract agents and new agents that are going to live our culture and our ethics and our values, and that does really great business, and people that add to us. So I'm sure there's somebody, or you could think of an agent where you're like, oh no, I'd never want them. Like, like, I don't want to be the person that says that I brought that one along. Like I just, now, my thing is really looking outside the box and trying to think of who else other than agents, past agents, agent friends that that really could potentially be agents. Like, who would be really good in real estate? So I could get 10 people in my downline, but if they're crappy agents and they don't make a single sale, guess what? I don't make a single dollar in profit share. So you're really looking to attract agents that are going to be successful in this business. So what does that look like? I've asked my Uber driver before if he was ever interested in, getting his real estate license. I've asked my gas attendant. I've asked all these people on the side. I've asked my bartenders, my Uber drivers, my gas attendants, my car salesman, pretty much anybody, past clients. If somebody, those women that you showing them houses and they're telling you stuff, you're like, wow, why are you not getting your license? Those are the conversations. Those are the type of people that would be really good. If we, after this, we want to kind of mastermind and think of other people that we want to kind of go at and really target that we think would be really good. I know some of us come from different careers, and why did we leave that career to get our real estate license? And that's a real why question to maybe call some of your past employee friends and employers and say, hey, like that business was hard. You ready to leave? You ready to come on over to a better side? So that's a good conversation to have. Matt, were you gonna say something?
I just wanted to say there's two things I wanted to mention. I think in your slide here, I think the key word that is in red, build relationships. I think the people who succeed the most at growing their passive income tree, their profit share tree, are the ones who build relationships with people. Classic example, Bill Boswell had actually texted me somebody that he met at a restaurant a year and a half ago. Bill gave him his business card, and just 2 months ago, the guy reached out to Bill and said, hey, how do I get my real estate license? And then Bill forwarded him over to me. But it's building those relationships and just putting yourself out there. That's number one. Number two, I just want to say, you never know who that one person is going to be potentially in your downline who could just attract a bunch of other people as well. As we're talking about, building that 7 level, but it's not trying to attract, as Deb said, everyone. It's building relationships with the right people, and then those people, you can find that one person is going to be a natural attractor, and that one person could bring 10 people into your downline. So it's just consistently have conversations with others. Exactly what Deb was saying. So I think that's like gym coaches, past employees, relatives, neighbors, anyone and everyone. Just have those conversations.
Well, to talk about conversations, it's kind of like, okay, well, what do I say? And for me, it absolutely is that building of a relationship. And it's, when I've worked with amazing agents, this isn't even about attracting them to KW. I just think, when you come across an amazing agent, you should be complimenting them on just being who they are, right? So, hey, like, you're really amazing to work with. I would love to work with you more.
And Deb, I just wanted to step in because I thought of a conversation we had when you first came on board, how you like to be very participatory in your board events, and that being a part of your, you're a member of the Greater Bergen Board, I think. but you participate in those events, and look, it's people from all different brokerages. You're just trying to attract people that you enjoy speaking with, you compliment them, and you're also inviting them to trainings. Like you're spreading our value to those agents.
Yeah, and I think, for me, I want to make it very clear. I have a lot of friends that are agents that are not with KW. They will never be with KW, and that's perfectly okay. And I've always said, I don't care what company you work for. If I like you and we work well together, I want to continue to always work well. So it's about it's my reputation. I don't want anyone, if I walk up to them and I say, hi, I'm Deb Norman, I've heard some really great things about you. I don't want ever said, oh, she's not really, doesn't want to be your friend. She's just trying to recruit you. Like, that's not who I am. I think most people know that about me, because I've had people from other companies say, don't even try asking. I said, oh, I have no intentions of asking you. So it's really just finding genuine people. I think we're all agents, and a lot of us are extroverts. I mean, we know how to have good conversations. I mean, we're all pretty sociable people. It's just, I really want to hone in on just being a genuine person. And I think it will just naturally come. And like I said, I mean, really making that genuine compliment to somebody. If you think they're really out there and you just see it, you see that like spark in them, give a compliment. People love hearing that they're awesome. And not just that, that's what enriches the relationship and your friendship. That's where it all builds and starts. So, what else? Yeah, and come from contribution. I mean, what can you do if there are agents that you really like? You're like, oh, please, this is such an amazing fit for you. I know you would like do so well here. Some of the things that you can send them are, books. Although I feel like at this point, everyone's, if you don't have the MREA, you're not going to read it at this point because it's been around. It's like the holy grail. But I think is a new copy coming out soon. So maybe that is something that we buy the new copies and kind of give out to some agents that we know are outside of KW and kind of show them the value. So you're really coming from contribution. What can you invite them to and show them the value of KW, and particularly our market center, right? So we all love Bill and Ron. Anytime they do, a Zoom call, or if they're talking or doing a mastermind, that right there is a huge piece of information and value, where you could say, listen, just listen to this half hour, and I'm telling you, by the end of it, you're going to be blown away. Those are the types of things that you want to kind of offer, in my opinion. Again, this is all my opinion, but this is just my perspective on it. So again, if you're going to give anybody and decide that you want to attract them to the market center, one of the best things you could do is, obviously they go straight to Matt or Bill or Ron, depending on if you know that they have that relationship, and you just say to them like, hey, it's been amazing working with you, and I just want to be really clear, like, I told Matt how awesome you are, and will you please just take his phone call, because he wants to thank you for being awesome, and because I won't stop talking about it. You could have that could be genuine, if you really truly feel that way. And then that way, Matt has an opportunity. He's going in, that's not a cold call, that's going in like ultra warm and saying, hey, Pete, I heard like you're awesome. Like, would you ever just want to come in, and, or is there maybe in a month or two from now, can I reconnect with you? Or, hey, if I have an event that I think you'd be really into, let's talk about what your goals look like. And if there's something that I know coming up, like, would you be open-minded to me sending you a link so that you could get in on that conference call, right? It doesn't have to be so intense. It's just building, it's nurturing a relationship. Sometimes nurturing relationships with agents are very similar to how we have to nurture them with our clients. You agree with that, Matt?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think anytime someone has a really good transaction, or, somebody is a co-broke on a transaction where they really embody, integrity, ethics, just if they're pleasant and nice and coming from a genuine spot, I mean, it makes my call a lot easier, because at the end of the day, and we've talked, it's not about recruiting, it's about attracting the right people. And it's also just about collaborating with other agents. I mean, we've had, prior to COVID, we did events where we'd have like a panel of people from different brokerages. And so it could be, company agnostic. So that's just the type of stuff that we do at Keller Williams. And so it's, it's really just important to, like you said, if you have somebody you think would be a great fit for Keller Williams, refer them to me. Let me know why you like them, what qualities you like about them. And it's just about building that relationship and seeing where that goes. But if nothing else, it's just about collaborating with other realtors from other,
and we should all be doing that too, right? We should all be collaborating and working together in this industry. There's too many of us that have like real estate agents, realtors have such a bad rap. And when you come across somebody that actually believes in this industry and has really good morals and values, you want to kind of promote and hype them up as much as possible, because that's what it's about, in my opinion. Okay,
Absolutely.
so again, and then here's the thing. I mean, I think I even said this. This is not about recruiting them. Please don't let it ever be about recruiting them. And if someone's like, "Oh no, I don't want to be recruited by you," I'm sorry, I actually didn't intend to recruit you. Like, I hope you're not disappointed, but I wasn't planning on recruiting you. I just really, I think you're awesome, and then I think I want to work with you down the road. And listen, we have this amazing office and I work with great people, and we thank other really great agents for the job that they're doing. That's it. Like, so I think maybe we could talk about afterwards, some examples of when people maybe have said that to us, and maybe we do a little mastermind of like another script or another like way to kind of combat that. I'm definitely open-minded to that. What not to say, again, this is just being a good person, and this is being a realtor in general, but remember that we have all entered Keller Williams for the type of people that attracts to this company. So never say anything bad about another company, even if you've come from that other company, right? You just had that bad experience and you're willing to let that slide and move on. Never say anything bad or negative about, other agents. I know sometimes you really want to, but just dig deeper down into yourself and know that you're a better agent in person, and just kind of, and try your best to find other great, better, and other agents to like work with. And, just keep a very open, positive mindset. And one of the things Karen Kaufman says, like, don't have profit share breath. Don't be fake. It's about being genuine, right? And coming from contribution. So just, I'm going to throw this out there, but how to really build and maintain your tree. We talked about it. This is a nurture, right? So you can use connect, with your or whatever, call them. Do you have goals? Is this something that's really important to you? So within my business goals, I have a goal of, building my tree. This is something that I'm active about my passive income, if that makes sense. And and also, please help others in your tree that, like you had said, it's important. Get them to understand the importance of them building their tree. It's only going to benefit you too, but it's you're showing them the value of what that means. So, and this is also something that is always said in Keller Williams, that your sponsorship, when someone names you, your sponsorship is not mentorship. So I want to say that your sponsorship is not mentorship. This is not like, oh, now I got to like take care of this person and have them under my wing. That's not what it is. That wasn't what it was intended to do, right? We have coaches for that. But for me, I will do anything to make my agents successful. And I will help them with their business. I will help them in building their tree. I will give them support. There's a couple of my tree people on this line. They could kind of share with you down the road, like some of the things that I've done in the past for them. Like if there's a conference that costs $50 and they really want to go, and I'll buy their ticket for them, because at the end of the day, when they become better agents and are more successful, that again only benefits me. So if you're looking, so one of my, Karen Kaufman, if you do not know who he is, please right now go onto Facebook and look up his, I think it's Profit Share Mastermind. So he runs that. He's amazing. I don't know, Matt, have you guys had him in the market center? Have you done any? Well, no.
No, we were going to, and then we had to cancel it. It was actually like last May, I believe.
He just drops this like eye-opening bomb at you when he really breaks down profit share. And I highly recommend, as soon as things do open up and we can get him in, I think that would be huge. But in the meantime, go on Facebook. Those are the two profit share groups that I'm a part of, and you get a lot of information and inspiration, and again, very collaborative. People have put in like their Indeed ads or their websites, where you could go on to agents' websites and see how they're attracting agents. So there's a lot of information out there. My KW, there's, Connect videos. Definitely, you're here today. Get on and listen to your growth committee once a month. You can, again, build your own website to attract agents. You can put out Facebook ads to attract newer agents. And again, talk to Matt before you start doing that, because there's actually a better way to do it. And there's a process and definitely a nurture in that. But that's something that actually I'm working on, and Matt and I have talked about that. So I would love to, maybe even if you're interested, I haven't really started that yet. And maybe we kind of do a little group and collaborate together, do something like that. I'm definitely up for it. Anything else you want to add to this?
Is this your last slide?
No, I don't know. Oh, finding the tree. A lot of people don't know where to find this information. So let me just show you really quick. It's really pretty simple. It's on your on your My KW. So all of these numbers, you go to your reports here, and from reports, it took me a while. And once you play around, man, numbers, you see a lot of numbers in here. I mean, KW shares its numbers. So you could see what other market centers are bringing in. You could see other agents in different market centers, what their profit share is. Sorry, it's loading so slow. But anyway, you do see where that kind of comes from. Just minimize that. And so again, I could show you exactly where that is, but it goes 7 down. If somebody leaves, that one person does kind of come up. And I think that's where I'm leaving it, just pretty much understanding like what profit share could do for you. For me, I take all of my profit share and I put it into its own account, and I call that my travel account. And that's money that I know I have every year for my travels, because that's what's important to me. I work to live. That's my life. And so profit share allows me to do that. And so just think about that for a second. If you had an extra $10,000 a year in a bank account, what is that doing for you and your family? What could that be put towards? What are some of your goals that you're looking for? And if I told you in 6 years from now, you could have $80,000, what does that look like? Is that $80,000 that you're going to put down on your first investment property? And what a gift that is to give to yourself, because now your investment property is giving you cash flow for the rest of your life too, on top of it. Oh, and by the way, your profit share didn't stop at that 80, you're still making more money out of it. So what does that really look like for you? So dream big, make some money, but only hire good agents. Like, we don't want, not everybody is for KW.
One of the things I will say about Debbie, so I'm actually in her downline. So that's been exciting for me. But one of the things I love about Deb, I mean, obviously we're good friends, but beyond that, she has always poured back into her downline. And one of the things that I'm surprised you didn't talk about, Debbie, was your profit share dinner. So again, like she said, mentorship and profit sharing are not the same thing. But what Debbie likes to do is once a year, take out all of her first level people out to a really nice dinner. And we all kind of connect, we talk about work, and it's just like a really nice chance for all of us to see each other. I mean, you people from different market centers, from different states. And it's just a really cool way to like create your own tribe out of your profit share tree. And I know for a fact that the reason that Debbie has seen so much success in profit share is because she pours back into it. So you don't have to mentor your agents in your downline, but why wouldn't you want to? And especially if you like the people that you've recruited, you should want to spend time with them. And we didn't get a chance to do it last year because of, COVID, but I'm really encouraging her to do one this summer so we all get together. And I mean, I always have a great time. I know it's a little selfish of me to push her to do it, but it's just, as my sponsor, she's been incredible for me. She's the reason I'm at KW, and she's always available for questions. And in the past, I've had some recruits and I get a little nervous maybe doing that because she's so much better. Debbie has hung out with me, with my recruit, and just been like my backup. It benefits her, benefits me. And it benefits all of us at KW, right? We profit share. It's like the single biggest thing that we all get to be invested in each other's business. So thank you for being an excellent sponsor. And you guys should all be as lucky as me to have a sponsor like Deb. She's the best.
Well, and can I say one thing as well to that? Because Megan, I 100% echo everything that you just said. I think for me, so I've been with the company for 8 years. Deb, you've been with it for 6 years. I think as you experience what each market center has to offer, you become a lot more passionate, not necessarily about the company, but also just to change other people's lives. Like, one of the reasons I'm passionate about attracting agents to Keller Williams is, on one side, yeah, there's the profit share aspect. And I had a friend from college who joined an office up in Massachusetts. He actually is doing fairly well. So like, I have people in different parts of the country who are succeeding. But over my years in Keller Williams, I've seen agents' lives truly change from joining the office. I mean, when I created a marketing piece, actually, I wish I could share my screen, but it's just agents in our office from where they were before they joined Keller Williams to where they are today, like their first full year with Keller Williams. I mean, some of them increased 150%. Teresa in our office went from 28 million in 2018 to 51 million in 2020, and the list goes on and on. And so our systems, our models, our training, our culture, our abundance mindset, it works. And so that's why I'm super passionate about attracting the right people to the market center. And I think, Deb, you're in the same boat, building relationships with right people, because if they plug into our world, their businesses go up, which is a win for them. And on the other side, there's a profit share aspect for the sponsor. So in the Keller Williams world, it's the Y4C2Ts, win-win or no deal. This is a win-win for everyone. And so I just want to be very clear in that. For me, profit share is huge because I'm passionate about it because I've seen the lives of agents change, and I've seen our lives change from a profit share perspective of passive income. And so I just wanted to throw that out there as just to just make it very clear that this isn't recruiting. It's 100% attracting the right people and being passionate about seeing their businesses grow, because countless agents have grown their business in the Keller Williams model. So I just wanted to throw that out there as well. So Deb, thank you for doing that presentation. I thank you for your time, for just the effort and the energy that you put into this. So we'll give a silent round of applause since we're all muted. The round of applause is deafening.
Any questions? I'm happy to answer.
I would say, yeah, what questions do we have? And let's brainstorm in some ways that we can help attract agents to the market center. Go ahead, Esther. I saw your hand go up.
Yes, hi, I'm sorry, I'm like in class raising my hand. So I missed the names of the people for the profit share pages on Facebook because of my phone ring and I had to go answer. Would you be able to?
Karen Kaufman. Karen Kaufman. And if you look up, what is it? KW Profit Share Mastermind, I believe is the name of the group.
KW
Yeah, I think
Profit
yeah, there it
Share
is.
Mastermind, you said?
Yeah, Aaron Kaufman.
Yeah.
Got it, perfect.
I
Thank
just
you.
put her in the chat box.
Oh, cool, thanks.
I think that's how you spell his name.
Yeah,
Hold
I
on,
think
let me
so.
just double check that. Yeah, that looks right. Yep.
If you even hashtag unfair share, that's like his hashtag, you'll find him.
What other questions for Deb or for me or for Jane is also on the call as well, team leader for Sparta. What question? Oh, one thing we didn't mention, Deb, or maybe you did, but I just want to reiterate too, they don't have to join our market center in order to name you as a sponsor.
No,
So
I actually, I have an agent, a very good friend of mine. When he was getting his license, I was like, you're the personality, like we're very similar. I was like, please, you have to talk to KW. And he had a friend and wanted to do like a very small, like boutique company. And so after a year of with this boutique company, I thought, I was like, oh, all right, I try, I was like, oh, I really think you would be great for this company. And a year later, it came to me and he's like, they're offering me nothing. I have no guidance. I'm just like sitting there. I have no idea what I'm doing about. And I was like, will you please have the conversation with the team leader? And so he did. He left and came. So he's in New York State.
Just make sure to always email the team leader, let them know that you're sending that lead. I mean, we have a very ethical market center. We're very, very lucky. Unfortunately, that is not the case in every single city and every single state. So always cover your butt, send an email, make sure it's trackable, just like you would a referral, and the right thing will happen for you.
Yeah, and along those lines, I just wanted to add two things is, a lot of what you were saying throughout, Deb, is, treating this almost as a segment of your business where like all of the people that I'm actively working on to bring into my profit share tree, they're in my command, they're tagged. If I have a home address for them, they're on a neighborhood nurture. So I treat them as like a subset of my database. And that same thing, whether you're referring to a local market center or out of area, like take that little bit of onus on to follow up with them, follow up with the market center that you're referring to. And it's just going to, ensure that you have, that positive experience in getting them. Because again, we know you cannot ever tell someone to name you as sponsor, and yet.
Oh, like, I didn't say that. Yes, thank you so much.
And Deb's
don't
like
ever, ever. That is like cardinal rule. Like you do not deserve to be at this company if you ever say the words, "Name me as your sponsor." Like. Yep. Get out right now, walk out the door. Like that's the worst thing you could say to somebody. That is not why we're here.
And I think, Deb, you're like.
Can you tell I'm passionate about that one?
You're the shining example there, though, of how, right, like we met back in the day when we were both still at Coldwell Banker, separate offices, but we knew each other through the board with YPN. And, I knew plenty of people at Keller Williams. And I was, being very purposeful about going out on realtor tour and asking Keller Williams agents what they liked about the company, what was behind the curtain, what are you hiding from me? I was doing all my research, and yet you were the person that consistently kept asking me like, hey, we've got this class going on this month. Would you like to come join? Like, hey, Bold is coming up. Like, I think that would be super awesome for you. Like, and you just kind of kept pouring into me. So when I sat down during my onboarding, right, like I didn't even know how profit share worked. And yet when that question came up of who is the person responsible, there was no other name beyond yours that I ever would have thought of putting down there. So I just
can I just interject real quick and say,
I didn't know he put me down. I really didn't think he did.
Yes, that's what I was going to say, Deb. There was a time where another agent in our office was like, oh yeah, we brought Scott in. And I remember I was already at KW at that point. And Deb had called me and was like really bummed. And it's okay to be upset, right? It's okay. At no point did she make a fit, have a fit. She didn't call Scott yelling at him. She didn't call the TL. She just went, all right, well then maybe I didn't do a good enough job of showing them value. And then he found out that he named you.
But at the end of the day, I was like, this is where he needs to be. Like, I was just happy for him. I was like, yeah, whatever it took, he got here. Like, that's what it matters. That's what matters. And he's
Exactly.
being, for him not
That's the
to
end
say
result.
this, Scott is also a very good attractor. When he was a productivity coach, like, he has a way of shining a light of really the benefits of KW. And that's important too. You know, for me as an agent, I'm just going to befriend everybody. That's just my personality. But when it comes down to like, oh, well, this office could offer you this, but that office might not. Like, that's just not my wheelhouse. So there were times like when he was the coach, like if I ever needed somebody to just kind of get to understand why KW, I'd almost want them to talk to like a Meg or a Scott before they even got a hold of my TL.
Well, and I would just say too, Deb, like ironically or coincidentally, like when I am on appointments, like the reason someone should join Keller Williams is not for the profit share. It's the cherry on top. But the reasons to join is you can build a business. There's ample training, the culture. There's a bunch of different reasons to join Keller Williams. Yet profit share is that cherry on top, and that's why, to your point, you can't get, if someone names someone else as a sponsor, that's just what it is. But they're in the right place. They got attracted. They're here, and no matter who they pick, they felt like that person was who provided the most value to them in making that decision. And I think to everyone on this call, it's just, it's just being in business with the right people and attracting them to the market center. That's
right, because at the end of the day, that agent joined our market center, and the better my market center is, the better we're all going to work together. So regardless,
Exactly.
if I benefit the market center, I benefit at the end of the day.
So we have about 10 minutes till 3 o'clock. I do have to hop off right at 3. So I do want to just see, is there any other questions that we have or any other things that people, maybe objections that people have encountered when maybe, I know, Aida, I don't want to put you on the spot, but I know when you go to open houses, you'll sometimes try to build relationships with agents at open houses. And I know you've tried doing things like that. Other agents on this call have tried different tactics. Is there anything that somebody wants to bring up, challenges that they maybe have had that maybe Deb or Scott, Megan, myself, Jane, people who've been with the company now for a little bit, Pete, who could maybe offer some advice or input on best ways to get around that? Aida, I see you're unmuted.
I actually have a question on
Good.
how you guys handle when they say, no, I'm not interested. I am happy where I am. I'm not interested for any change.
Great. When you're ready, let me know. Or you know what, you're still my friend and I'm still going to hang out with you.
And
Honestly, I don't push it. When they're ready, they're ready.
Yeah.
It's like,
Is there anything that you do, like Scott was saying, were you following up with them? Are you putting them on any, like inviting them to classes?
One thing that I would recommend doing is, even if someone's not interested, you could just say, I appreciate that. However, we do have trainings that are open to anyone. Is there a specific topic that you might be interested in? And next time there's a class on that, I'll be sure to invite you. Try to leave it kind of, like where you could at least still be providing value potentially, and see what they say to that. Scott, I saw you wanted to jump in.
You were saying something, Scott.
yeah, no, right along those lines, right? Like, is it Aida or Ada?
Aida.
Aida. So, I mean, have you ever gone on a listing consultation and had a seller say, you know what, Aida, like, we loved everything you had to say. Just at the end of the day, we're not ready to list right now. Has that happened?
Of course.
And what did you do? Did you just say, okay, cool, like, see you later? Or did you say, well, great, and like, what do you think might be the biggest thing holding you up from listing your home right now? Or, dig deeper and figure out, going back to that core motivation. So like with the agents, I always like to ask them, like, hey, like, this is not really about me recruiting you to KW. This is me coming from contribution, and I'm curious, like, what area in your business do you most want to improve this year? So it's kind of along the lines of what Matt just said, and yet it's a very open-ended question. I'm not going right into like, hey, I'm going to invite you to a class that'll fix your business, but I'm learning a little bit more about them, taking note of that. And then whether I've got a class in mind immediately to plug them into, or whether I can just keep them top of mind in the future. Like for example, when Bill had Karina, that interview last week or the week before, I had agents top of mind that immediately I was like, the way that Karina and Lance Loken have built their business would be super helpful to these specific agents. I've got to make sure that I personally invite them to come onto that and explain why they would benefit from it, and make sure they know, like, this is, again, not me telling you, hey, you've got to come to KW. This is me showing you that the culture of KW is one of being very open and sharing and creating, you know, a better industry as a whole, no matter what company we work at. So that's always been my kind of approach. And if you can't tell, I tend to get pretty passionate when it comes to this. So I think that's just, you know, one of the things I've learned is I'm super passionate about the things that I love about KW. And I also recognize that's not always going to be what somebody else might love about KW. So I really want to learn what's important to them and then match them up to the elements of KW that match best to them.
Right.
Right.
And I think we can actually mess it up by asking it maybe too early in the process for having.
Build the relationship first.
Yeah.
Thanks. So anyone else with questions or comments? All right. Well, Deb, thank you again so much for your time today. This was really invaluable. You know, if anyone has any questions, feel free to reach out to Deb, to myself, Jane as well. You know, reach out to any one of us. We're here to support you. We're here to help you grow your passive income tree. And any way we can do that, please just let us know. So again, Deb, thank you for your time today. And as I started the meeting, the growth committee is the first Thursday of every month at 2 p.m. So the next one will be the first Thursday of May. So we will see you all then. Thank you, guys.
Thanks, Deb. Thank you, Matt.